fast.
But I heard you like to drive fast.
I was driving really fast. I was driving as fast as I possibly could. I live up in Fallbrook, and the freeway up there, the 76, is totally jammed with construction, so I plan on being here on time. So I have a very fast car, and I was a little bit over 100 going down the carpool lane just now, so I'm shaking right now. I'm a total adrenaline buzz right now, so I'm sorry I'm late, you guys.
Okay. Woo! When you get pulled over, do you just, they look at you and go, oh,
so
go
you know
ahead?
what? I was on my way to the studio a couple days ago with my kid in the car justice, and we got pulled over for speeding and changing lanes without a signal, and then the guy, he goes, give me your registration and proof of insurance and your license. I handed him my license, and he hands it back to me, and he goes, you know, everybody's in a hurry. And I said, yeah, and he goes, okay, drive careful out there. And I was like, Justice goes, only you get away with that stuff. So.
Where is Justice? Did he come with you today?
No, he's actually working. He's working with our management company.
How old is he now?
He's 19.
Wow. I haven't seen him in a couple years.
Yeah, he grew up big.
He sure did.
He's really big.
So how are you doing?
I'm great. I feel great.
You look fantastic.
You look
good.
Thanks. I feel really good. We're ready to tear it up in the Big Four here for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Well, thank you for taking time, because I know you're a very, very busy man, especially with the Big Four coming up on the 23rd.
I'm actually leaving Friday for our European tour, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to be over there with Slayer doing the European Carnage tour. We've been really successful with that in the States and in Canada and Australia, and we're going back to Europe to do that. A couple Big Four shows over there, coming back here to do a Big Four show, and then this summer we're going to be doing stuff with the Mayhem tour. So we've got a really busy year so far.
Yeah, you are on the Mayhem tour.
That's really
Big
cool,
Four?
because those are bands that we wouldn't normally play with, and I think it's cool because they're really great bands. It's just, you know, you wouldn't think Megadeth and Disturbed and Godsmack, you just wouldn't do it. But when you think about it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, you did say once that you have earned the right to share the stage with whoever you want at this point, which is accurate.
Yeah, that was one of my smart-ass moments.
Well, you know what? No, that's why we love you, right? So who wouldn't you ever consider? Because you know Motley Crue came out with that big thing, we would never ever tour with Poison, and now they're touring with Poison.
Yeah.
Not saying you would tour with Poison or Motley Crue for that matter.
Well, we actually did Motley Crue a long time ago. We did the Maximum Rock tour because we were sponsored by JVC for a while, and they had done some stuff with the record we put out for Sanctuary, which was a really just a really mixed up label. That whole period there was really crazy. Some of the things that they asked us to do, one of which was touring with the Crue, but we weren't the only ones that were kind of misguided on that tour. Our buddies in Anthrax were on that too. So I mean, it didn't have a cool factor. It just kind of stopped after us.
So with the Big Four, you know, I'm going to assume that hatchets have been buried or at least set aside for a while? Not to bring up ancient history, but...
No, I mean, you'd have to be visiting this planet to think that there's still a problem after we've done all these shows and after we've done the DVD and all that stuff. For people to even think that there's something like that still is just, I mean, it's like, what do you want, a love child? It's
right.
And you know, we're friends. We hang out now. We're talking about doing more Big Four dates. They keep coming up. The world keeps wanting them, and I don't blame them. It's been a long time overdue. I think it's really cool that the first time in the States we're doing it here in our you know, fantastic state. But you know, I'd like to see this, you know, us have a few more shows in the States because, you know, when you do one show like that, you have so many people come from out of state, and there's so many, it's kind of like a camping kind of thing, you know.
It's like Woodstock.
Like, yeah, and you have people peeing on each other's back of their legs like they do in Europe when you're standing in the
I'm going to do that to you in about 10 minutes, so we're good. So how was this conceived? I mean, did labels get together, did promoters, or did you guys get together?
It was James's idea. You know, we have a lot in common, James and I, and I think that's the reason why it was so difficult when we parted ways, because, you know, we really were close, and because we had to separate because of the alcohol problems we all had. Yeah. You know, it wasn't going to work. I mean, it's better now because there's two great bands. You know, we're friends. During that period when we were trying to justify why we weren't playing together, why they fired me, why I got fired, blah blah blah. There was a lot of stuff that was said, and a lot of it was, you know, childish. And you know, you got to remember, you know, we were kids. What you know, I mean, I'm fairly older and a lot more mature, I believe, and. at that time, that was one of the biggest emotional things I'd ever gone through. So
Sure.
It hurt, and I said stuff.
Breaking up,
Yeah, it was kind of like that, and the same thing with Slayer. We'd been on tour, and some things had happened, and we were in an airplane, and just there was a couple other bands with us, and they were just acting really terrible. And there was a lot of young kids in the plane, and I'm a dad, and even if if it wasn't, if you guys had your kid in the plane and somebody was being a jerk next to him, I would get uptight about that, because it's our kids. I mean, we're all somebody's kids, and for somebody to be right on top of them and just doing stuff that's really horrible, that was involving like XXX porno and stuff like that. It was just totally inappropriate. And I'm pretty liberal, but that was I don't care. That's too much. And somebody had asked me a question, and I said, I was upset about the flight, and I said something, and somehow it kind of came around, and I said something about Slayer, and they had heard that, and it was regrettable. I told them, I said, sorry about it. It's water under the bridge. I saw Kerry in Japan after we played there, and he goes, I don't even remember what you said.
And I was like, it seems like okay. Tom is still talking smack though, and it's like you've been really Tom. It's like you've been really gracious, and I honestly I've not heard you say anything ill about anybody.
Mm-hmm. I think what you might be seeing is something that may be old, because something that's said today doesn't necessarily show up in the press, and unless there's something really wrong that we're unaware of, there shouldn't be anything being said right now. I certainly know that I'm not saying anything, because I'm at peace with myself. I had a serious spiritual alignment in my life change back in 2002, and it's really helped me to. I still play like I used to, but I've had a lot of things that have changed with me, the way I deal with problems and stuff. And I mean, if there's stuff being said, I really don't think that it's current. I think it's probably from the past. I mean, I would be surprised if it was.
Well, he just said basically stuff like, we're not friends. He's another human on the planet. We occupy the same space. He's cool. I'm cool, but we're not buddies.
That's probably very true. But I'd like to think that we were
I would like
amicable.
I would be in the same.
And it's okay. He doesn't have to be my friend. That's okay. I'm responsible for my behavior and what I do, and I like the guy. I don't see anything wrong with him. In fact, believe it or not, I actually prayed for the guy when he had surgery.
Right? So you're a good man. Yeah. You're a good man. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more Dave Mustaine Radio Takeover.